Welcome to Lifestyle Harmony. This lesson is captioned Introduction to Lifestyle Harmony. At the end of this lesson, you would have acquired the right knowledge, skills, and attitude required to go on the journey of lifestyle harmony. The right skill, knowledge, and attitude required to go on the journey of lifestyle harmony. Think about it. Um, as a young adult, married or about to get married, I mean, you have to look good, right? So as a man, you have to put on good clothes, right? As a professional, you have to ensure you look good. If you're dressing business casual, everything comes out great. If you're dressing corporate or native, as the case may be, or as a lady, you're preparing to get married, and your wedding dress is pristine, gorgeous, and just glittering, right? And you get the matching shoes, the matching bag, everything must just go along with it, right? And so you get all of your accessories right. The wardrobe is set, and you're just looking good and you know set. This is great, right? But we call these things externals, and most times we focus on externals more than internals. So the things we see on the outside, over time we get to place more emphasis on them than the things inside, right? What are the things inside? Talking about internals, internals are the unseen drivers of who you are becoming. I'm going to say that again. Internals are the unseen drivers of who you are becoming. Think about it. For example, your thoughts, your mindset, your values, your self awareness. These are internals. Examples of internals, you can't touch them, you can't see them, but they are the ones driving who you have become, right? And all through lifestyle harmony, we want to go into the internals, focus on the internals, and ensure that they improve the outcome we see and they improve the externals and our life, our living, and how we we how we process things in life, because the internals is behind. I'm going to give you an example. Think about as a human being, for example, right? So on the external, on the physical part of the body, on the external, we can see the eyes, we can see the mouth, we can see your hands, you can see your legs. What else can we see? We can see the private part as well. You can see your private parts and all, right? And I mean, all that is there. And then by the time you put on your clothes, we can now get to see, those external that we can't see until you remove your clothes. Now, as great as those things are, let's look at the mouth, for example. The mouth has a whole lot of internals to it that makes the external mouth functional. For example, there's the esophagus connected to the throat, and this esophagus is actually what makes the use of the mouth work. You talk about the windpipe, right? That allows the nostril we're seeing to work. So for every external, there are lots of internals that makes it work. Look at the eyes, right? You can see with this outward. I mean, we can see the outer part of the eyes, but of course, many persons who have done the study of the eyes know how big the eyes is, and many other internals behind the physical external one we can see. That's the same way. That's the same way the internals drive the external. So look at it this way. Through your spirit, you discover God's purpose, the essence of your being, and you remain connected to source, right? Through your soul, you take it further and you begin to give expression, thoughts, emotions, and will to the fulfillment of purpose on earth. And through your body, you now begin to execute and live with a sense of mission within the span of time. This is awesome, right? So think about the spirit as the operating system, right? Think about the soul as a software. Think about the body as the hardware, right? Think about it. And when you look at it this way, And an operating system, it really helps the whole system to work. So we can see is the hardware. For example, people see your computer, whether it's your laptop, your desktop, your MacBook, your iMac. They can see the hardware. They can see the monitor. They can see the keyboard. They can see perhaps other peripherals like printers, and scanners. They see the hardware. Those are the hardware, right? But they can't see some other things, right? And then the operating system is actually what controls the operation of a computer, right? So they call it operating system, and it directs the processing of software, right? So literally, when a person has a system, it's meant to have an operating system, as that number one program, that is loaded into the computer and helps in managing all of the application software in the computer. And so the OS is like the interface between the user and the device hardware. So the OS is the interface between the user and the device computer. Because the OS is there, the user can now be able to make use of the hardware, right? So whether it's Microsoft Windows, Linux, Apple Mac OS, or even on the mobile device, Android as the case may be, you're getting to use the operating system. Makes it easy for you to be able to actually work with the hardware. Without the operating system, the hardware is just like a case, right? That's the same way for you. Your spirit man is the operating system, right? The body we see is the hardware. But there's a part that also is needed in this equation, and there's a part most times is relegated. Talking about the software. No matter how great I have the operating system, I have the hardware, I still can perform certain activities, certain operations if I don't have the relevant software to be able to do them. And that's the focus of lifestyle harmony, right? And so you look at the component of the soul. Through your soul, you give expression. For example, your thoughts, your emotion, your will. You give expression to these things because these things are the internal drivers that make you be able to fulfill God's purpose on earth. Yes, you have gotten God's purpose through your spirit. Yes, you are connected to the manufacturer, God. But then to be able to express this purpose, you need the kind of thoughts, the kind of emotions, the kind of will that will help you in fulfilling this assignment on earth, right? And this is why this is very important. Why is it important to pay so much attention to the internals? Why is it important to pay so much attention to the soul? Why is this important? Now this is it. The reason, the primary reason is because there is a way to live in order to fulfill God's purpose. I want you to pause briefly and think about this. There's a way to live in order to fulfill God's purpose. There's a way to live. Yes, I found God's purpose for my life, but I need to position myself in such a way I need to live in order to fulfill God's purpose. And the reason again is this. There are kind of mindsets you need. There's a kind of personality you need to leverage, your personality. There are influences, choices, and culture you need in order to fulfill God's purpose, right? There are cultures you need to improve upon. There are choices you need to begin to take. There are influences you need to open up to. There's a personality you need to leverage on, and there's a mindset that you require beyond your skill set to fulfill God's purpose. Think about it. There's a kind of association you need, not just anybody in your circle. There are habits you need. There are values and goals you need to fulfill God's purpose. This is very important. And so achieving lifestyle harmony is living that kind of lifestyle that will position you to fulfill God's purpose. Lifestyle harmony, in essence, is living that kind of lifestyle that will position you to fulfill God's purpose. There's a way I need to live in order to fulfill God's purpose for my life. That is what lifestyle harmony is about. I'm going to give you three case studies. And let's look at these three case studies from scriptures together. The first case that I want us to look at is talking about Samson. We're going to look at the second one, Joseph, and then we'll conclude with Moses. Let's start with the man Samson. Are you ready? Now, Samson, literally, God instructed the parents of Samson on how to raise him, including his hairstyle. Yeah, it was that detailed. You see an account like that in Judges 13, 2 to 5 and verse 12. It says, in those days, a man named Manoah from the tribe of Dan lived in the town of Zorah. His wife was unable to become pregnant, and they had no children. And then the angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife and said, even though you have been unable to have children, you will soon become pregnant and give birth to a son. Now, the next verse now tells us the lifestyle that God gave them, a template of how he should live. And it goes further to say, so be careful. So be careful. You can't just live your life the way other people lived, or the way you saw your parents live theirs, or the way you see your colleagues live theirs. For your purpose, for the path God has called you, you have to be careful in the way you live. He says, so be careful. You must not drink wine or any other alcoholic drink or eat any forbidden food. You will become pregnant and give birth to a son, and his ear must never be cut. Whoa. For he will be dedicated to God as a Nazarite from birth. He will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistine. Did you notice something? The last sentence was like a summary of his purpose statement. I'm sending you this child so that he will begin to rescue Israel from the Philistines. That is the purpose I'm sending this child. So for you as a parent or a parent to be, every time God sends you a child, it's not just about the the societal acceptance of, okay, I have children. God sends you a seed because of a purpose he has to accomplish on the earth. And so this is an account that happened, but then look at, as simple as it is, the hairstyle, and his hairstyle must never be cut. That's why it's called style. Hairstyle is still is a subset of lifestyle. So Manoah asked him, when your words come true, what kind of rules should govern the boy's life and work? You see it now. So that I need to know the kind of rules, the kind of discipline I need to subject myself to if I must ever fulfill whatever purpose God has dropped in my spirit. This is amazing, right? Let's look at the second case study. This is Joseph. Joseph, the story of Joseph is a very humbling story. He had integrity as a core value because of his purpose of governance and leadership, right? And this was just an excerpt of his own experience. The Lord revealed future events to Joseph in dreams, yeah, right? However, his brothers hated him, right? He had a dream before this time when he was 17, and God was showing him, this is your future. And by the time he even shared it to his family members, they could even believe him. That's even the family members. So yes, your purpose is great, it's unique, but even the closest people around you may not understand what you're saying yet. And his brothers hated him. They plotted to take his life because they just felt, this dream you told us, how come we're going to bow to you? And then guess what they did? They eventually sold him as a slave. When he was carried captive to Egypt, the Lord was with him, right? Joseph became overseer of the house of Potiphar, right? That was where he was sold as a slave, right? I mean, it was like an house, a servant in the house, right? He was captain of, Pharaoh's guard. Now, look at this point. When approached by Potiphar's wife, so there are going to be orders that will come your way to really either, orders are not meant to kill us or to sway you off God's purpose for your life. They actually come to reinforce you and make you thinking and really firm, and they're going to come in diverse ways. For Joseph, the order that came his way, one of them came in the form of Potiphar's wife, who wanted to sway him off the dream he had at 17 by a request, an improper advance to to be together. But because of Joseph's personal righteousness. You see, one of the things you're going to master through in lifestyle harmony is that you can prepare ahead for whatever kind of order comes your way along your journey. You are prepared ahead. I used to share that you don't prepare your response in the day of battle. You prepare your response before the battle. You prepare your response before the temptation because of his personal righteousness and because he would not violate Potiphar's trust, right? Perhaps they could have just, had a great time, perhaps even traveled and, pick one or two things from Pharaoh's house, get together in another country, and, but guess what? His dream would have been killed. That's one of the things the devil is looking out for. And you have to be very careful against that. He wants to sway you off this purpose you've found, but you are getting the wisdom that there's a way to live if you still must be able to fulfill this purpose. This is what lifestyle harmony is about. Now, so Joseph was in prison because he had refused, to succumb to the Pharaoh's wife's advances, and then, he was accused of rape. But then, even while in the prison, Joseph became overseer, and the Lord helped him to interpret the dreams of Pharaoh's butler and the baker. Those were those who were in the prison. He was able to get along with them. And later they even told him, since you've helped us, interpreting our dream, Pharaoh also had a dream. And that particular day, an opportunity came for him, right? I was with one of my mentors some days ago, and he was sharing with me that, God's going to bring to us moments in our journey of life, and our ability to seize those moments will determine, if we're able to really get to the next season and the next phase of what he has for us. And so he was advising me, and he said, Abraham, live ready. No, just seize the moment. Live the moment. Live the moment. And I felt to share that with you right now, right? Joseph, he was sensitive of that moment, and he was already living it. He had helped the rulers of the prison, the butler and the baker, interpret their own dreams. And a day came, another opportunity came to interpret the dream for the king. And he did that. And because of that, guess what happened? Because he seized the moment, subsequently, Joseph became ruler over all Egypt. He was only second in rank to Pharaoh. He directed the storage of food during the years of plenty and dispensing it during the years of famine and all that. But he was able to stay within the boundaries of his purpose because of his personal integrity. That's the value he kept. What if he didn't have that value as part of his lifestyle? What could have happened? Perhaps we will not have heard of him today. Let's look at this case study. This is Moses. Moses' purpose is that he was called to save the Israelites, right? Get them to the promised land. That was his purpose. So bring them out of bondage, but he needed a special kind of environment and upbringing. So Hebrews 11:23 and Acts 7:22 gives us an example of that. It said, first, by faith, Moses, when he was born, he was hid 3 months, right? And by his parents, because they saw he was a proper child. So one of the things his parents did was they needed to hide him, right? Think about how that can play out in today's world. It's just some sensitivity you get about this seed God gives to you as a child, and God tells you, how you should even, walk around it. Perhaps some secluded some strategic disclosures, and just how you should take care of this child. Really, he said they were not afraid. At that time, the king made a commandment that he was going to kill or newborn, but they were never afraid of the king's commandment. And guess what? Moses had the best of education, the best of parenting, because he grew up in Pharaoh's palace. He was learned in all wisdom of the Egyptian. He was mighty in words and deeds. God needed that lifestyle for him to be able to fulfill an assignment he had for him. It may be possibly if he didn't grow up in the Pharaoh's palace, he may not have been able to go back and approach Pharaoh boldly and telling him, "Let my people go." But God needed that part of his growing up, that lifestyle, right, for him to be able to fulfill the purpose of God, right? There's a kind of life, there's a kind of way to live in order to fulfill God's purpose for your life. Now, when you look at it, really, I mean, when you look at the concept of styles, they call it style because it's a style. I mean, think about fashion, for example. There's what we call, style in fashion, and you go to a fashion designer and says, okay, can you do me this style? I want this style for my dress. Let it look like this. I mean, the fashion designer is trying to give you some new ideas, showing you some brochure. Okay, how about these? You're trying to arrive at a style. The meaning is that there is a way to also live. That style of living is unique for a number of persons, is unique to your assignment, is unique to your purpose. That style is what we call lifestyle. However, unlike fashion, I mean, there's a constant style of living you must have in congruence to God's purpose for your life. And this one does not fade, it does not fade like lifestyle. I mean, like fashion. In fashion, a style can fade after a while and another style again. But in your own, the lifestyle God wants you to have does not fade. It must be in congruence with God's purpose for your life, right? And let's really spend a few moments on learning this kind of style we need in order to be able to fulfill God's purpose for our lives. We need to learn this style, right? You need to learn it. I mean, and you can learn it. That's the purpose of lifestyle harmony. So when you look at it, lifestyle tells us because it tells us that there is a way how to live, right? You can learn how to live God's way. There are many ways a person can choose to live. I mean, but there's also a way you can choose to live God's way. So Micah 4, 1 and 2 tells us that when all is said and done, it gives that account that God's people, God's temple on the mountain, family feast will dominate all the mountains. And this is my emphasis. He says people will stream to it, and many nations set out for it, saying, come, let us climb God's mountain. Let's go to the temple of Jacob's God. Why? It will teach us how to live. There is a how to live. There's such a methodology for you to live to fulfill God's purpose for your life. You can't just live like other people. You can't just live anyhow. He says, we will know how to live. Whose way? God's way. Right? So there's a way to live. There's a way to walk. There's a way to relate with other people. There's a way to start a new home. There's a way for everything. There's a way. Never assume. Confirm you're on the right way. Confirm you know the way. Be careful how you live. Don't live like ignorant people, but live like wise people. Be careful how you live. Be careful how you live. I can't live anyhow. Be careful how you live. Only ignorant people do that. Be careful how you live. So I want to ask you, what is your lifestyle standing on, right? For some people, their style of living is standing on trends. Whatever is the trend per time, they just try to float it with ease and just, be in the happening, in the know, right? But for us, it's not about what is trending. It is about where it is heading. God's purpose for your life gives you a picture of where you are going to, right? And so your lifestyle is not about what is trending. Your lifestyle is tailored and aligned to where you are heading. So literally, you are living the path. You are living the path. The way you live, although you have 30 years behind that purpose, you are 20 years behind that purpose, you are 5 years behind that purpose, but you are living the path. You are treading the path. You are living the kind. So literally, it's like a magnet. The purpose is coming close to you because you are living the path. Awesome. Lifestyle. I mean, I wanted to master this and know this ahead of time because lifestyles can evolve, right? So, I mean, when we are done with lifestyle harmony, your current lifestyle, we have to give way for this new lifestyle, right? That's one of the actions I want you to note. And so, expect an evolution of your current style of living to a refined version. Won't you want that? A refined version that is congruent to God's purpose for your life, right? And so something that just happened, right? Something just happened. Can I announce it to you? A reprogramming has just commenced. A reprogramming has just commenced. But I need you to stay true to it. A reprogramming has just commenced. And I want to just use the opportunity to welcome you to Lifestyle Harmony, right? I'm going to share with you something, which is the fact that this reprogramming that has started, you need to continue and cascade it, right? Um, Lifestyle Harmony is designed to really reprogram your lifestyle consciously so you can live out your God given purpose, achieve your life goals, grow in influence, and impact your world without regrets and painful memories. And so, whether you want to master how to have a healthy mental image, master how to break or find new habits, how to manage time effectively amidst contending alternatives, or how to set goals and achieve them, and how to bring on a new level of maturity and personal growth, Lifestyle Harmony is it, right? If you've always desired to live life with a whole new perspective that programs you consciously and subconsciously to be productive, effective, and mature, Lifestyle Harmony is it, right? Yes, no doubt every tool is a user, but the user is the key. And we all perform based on installed capacity. Lifestyle Harmony is the upgrade you need of your mental capacity behind the physical reality we see. People rarely change, they are only reviewed. I hear people say, oh wow, he changed. Since he got married, he changed. Since he got a job, he changed. He didn't change, it was only reviewed. Pressure and crisis reviews. And so life is lived inside out. So I want to especially welcome you. The next weeks ahead of you will definitely bring about an amazing transformation from within. Please don't lose focus. Remain consistent, right? This is going to help you real good. This is going to help you live out from inside out. Dig deep into the non-physical anchors that controls this physical entity we call life. That way you can be more productive, intentional, and become, a high achiever early in life without regrets and avoidable error. As you go through all the modules in Lifestyle Harmony, be ready to unlearn, learn, and relearn. Two things I want you to do to get the best value, right? Number one, be open and receptive. To be cut open. I mean, this is literally a mind surgery. Be open and receptive to be cut open. You will find healing. Don't worry. You'll find strength. You'll find victory as you open up, right? Never miss any module. Go through them in the right sequencing. They have been designed. They've been done that way so you can get the best value. Go through them at full length. Turn in all worksheets at the right time, right? Go over them as many times as you can. Replay them and get the full value from it, right? And lastly, check out all the worksheets for each of the modules. Spend quality time thinking and reflecting on them, and also kindly turn them in, right? There's such a transformation you're in, and I just want to welcome you specially. I'll see you in the next module.